I remember like last year, the first practice, you afterward like really got into them and were not happy about it. This is a little bit different. Like what, how's it different right now compared to a year ago?
Well, I mean, last year, first practice, it was alarming, and I would say we are way more comfortable with what the expectations are, and with kind of the manner in which we practice and the mindset towards attacking things and doing hard things together. And so I feel great about that. Now, this was still practice one, but mistakes are mistakes. I'd expect that. We have a lot of young players who are getting folded in. That, we have to be patient with their development. The manner in which we move from drill to drill will improve, but on the whole, I thought the effort, the attention to detail, the intentionality was there today, and so I would expect that. That's the work we did this summer. That's the work we did this spring. We're further along.
Ricky Wright is a guy who can play some different spots because of his size and athleticism. Where do you see him fitting in on this defense?
I think the more the game evolves, the more like length, athleticism, range become skills that are required for success. And so, I mean, he can do a lot of things. He can play field overhang. We believe that he can play as a safety as well. And his ability athletically to do both, certainly we believe in. I think it's a matter of seeing if he can do it in terms of the process required to play multiple spots. And that just takes time and reps. That's not anything towards him. It's just doing something new and different, learning how. We've been training him that way this summer, and we're excited. I mean, having his, again, length and athleticism on the field makes a difference. Where we choose to plug him in is all going to be based off what strengthens the defense most.
He had an interesting path because he wasn't here in spring. I guess that puts you in a dilemma because he's talented and he can help you, but he also didn't go through everything that his teammates did. How did you handle that?
Well, the first thing is that we love Ricky, and we want to support people through opportunities for growth, and that was what the spring was for him. The first thing is his teammates were involved in a plan to welcome him back. We worked with them to make sure that he was earning his way back to be a part of this operation. He hit all those marks. That included meetings with staff and accountability in other areas. And so it was a group effort, and he's a guy that we're happy to have as a part of our team. By the time we got into summer, he had earned his way back, and now we're not looking back. Everything for us now is moving forward and helping him grow, just like we do with each player, into the best person and player he can be.
What's your plan for mixing in the freshmen over the course of camp and seeing what they can, give you once the real games start?
Well, we're functioning in most every competitive period. We weren't able to do them all because we were inside today, but we're gonna two-spot those drills so that we're getting, all four lines work, and that's gonna give us a chance, at least in the first week, if we can stay healthy. It'll give us a chance to see them compete, see them actually take meaningful reps, and determine who's kind of ready to progress into that, preparation for game mode. But the truth is, with any freshman, Miles Capers is an example of this last year, just off the top of my head, but those guys continue to progress. Comes a point where, for most guys, they lock in and they figure it out, and we want to see who's got it early, and then certainly we're going to continue to give guys opportunities as we get to the end of fall camp and into the season. Just every week, it's about putting the best 11 we can on the field, and we want to give opportunity for growth and for guys to have a chance to do that.
How does Jacob Raymer fit in?
Well, we expect with his play experience that he's going to have an opportunity to make us better in our first five, but he's got to earn that too. And we have a number of young players that are pushing, and experienced veterans that are going to be pushing for those spots. And so we want to let that competition happen organically. I don't think there's very few guys right now that we have really locked into spots. We want this team to take shape over the next few weeks, and so we're excited about Jacob, and he, learning a new system and teammates. That's a process, but with his experience, obviously we think once he kind of gets his feet settled, that he can make a difference for us.
I wanted to clarify with on Mike. He's just the starter for the start of fall camp, right, as opposed to Hawaii. And then does that mean he gets sort of the lion's share of live reps because of that, or how does that function?
Well, we wanted to have a starter, named through the summer, so he's functioned in that role throughout the entire summer, and then as we start fall camp, and for Mike, it's just about understanding that every day he's got to earn it. And so, we want to give a chance for guys to grow and performances to change. And that means that, for Ken Seals and for AJ and the younger freshmen too, but those other two guys that were here in the winter and spring, we're not telling them, hey, you just be happy taking a back seat. This is where you are. This is what you need to do to get where you want to go. Mike has to continue to push himself. He's got to lead from the front. He's got to take on all the burdens that come with being a starting quarterback. We have to help him with that. And so in that sense, we're still allowing for competition. But right now, Mike takes the snaps as the number one.
Got a lot of defensive linemen hurt in spring, and guys that I think you thought would be maybe touch and go even into fall camp, into the opener. How are you feeling about health at that position?
Well, better. I mean, I'll be feeling really good when we get Davian back and D. Lee back, and then Christian James is banged up right now too. But it's nice to have Nate Clifton. I mean, you look down there now and you see, and then we've added some transfers, and you see the makings of depth. And I think anymore with the way the game's played on offense, you need depth up front to have a chance to play good defense. And so it's not just depth though. We have length, we have twitch, we have athleticism. We've added freshmen, we've brought in some transfers, and then we feel like we've developed within that room with the returners. And I'm excited to see what those guys can get done. I think we got a ton of work that has to happen over the next month, but it's a fun group to track.
Do you think Davian and Devin Lee will be ready to go for the Hawaii game?
To be determined. I would I think we'll address that as we get closer. But those are both long recoveries, and so we're getting closer every day. It's just as you start to transition to field work and you start to move and cut and change direction, you have to see how the injuries respond. And so that's kind of the mode we're in right now. The last thing we want to do is rush them back, and we want to get as many games as we can get out of them this season. So they're both hard at work. We'll see where it all nets out. We'll address it more specifically as we get closer to the game.
Does naming Mike Wright as the starter, add kind of a leadership component? Like, what do you think of Mike as a leader for the team, and does naming him the starter kind of elevate that, I guess?
What you want to do is, we have, in my mind, like three really good leaders in that room. And AJ Swan's young, and maybe it's a little early to say that about him, but I've been really impressed with his ability to rally people. He cares about football. Like he's done a lot with the other two freshmen to kind of get them onboarded and going. He has great connection with his teammates. AJ does. Obviously, Ken is led from that position, so he has experience too. And then we think, Mike has charisma, and he's got the depth of personality and depth of character to, and his teammates believe in him. And he stepped up in big moments for us a year ago and made big plays. The goal in naming Mike a starter was to turn the attention away from this idea that, the position's up for grabs and it's, last man standing, wins it. We have to, in that room, get connected, and we have to lead the team from that room. And that means that it's not against each other, it's with each other for the team. And that mentality and mindset is what's going to build the best team. And in naming a starter, you give people a chance to gain some peace around what their role is, and to put that aside and to focus on just being their best, and all the while, empowering them to lead the team from whatever that position, that role is. At the end of the day, the starting quarterback is a centerpiece of the offense, but football teams are built not in 12 or 13 Saturdays. It's all the other days that build the team. And so, I'm really interested in seeing, all the quarterbacks step into a leadership role and take on that personality. And if we can take the focus off just the battle on the field, I think we start to strengthen off the field.
Thanks, sir. Thanks, Coach.
Does it feel different this time around for you now that you've been publicly named the starting quarterback?
No, it doesn't feel different. I think the only thing that feels different is just where we were a year ago for day one and where we are now. That's the night and day. I think this is our first fall camp practice, but we've been here all summer doing PRPs, scheduled workouts, routes on there, 11 on 11 went together. So this is really like practice 16 for us. The only difference is we had helmets. So feel different as far as just the progression of a program. Yeah.
What specifically do you think makes it feel different?
I think it's just us being together and just the drive that we have. I think, like I said, when we got off the field at the Orange School, there was a different mentality that we had. There was a level of determination that we wanted to just get back out. And so that level of focus and emphasis has been from the winter to the spring on to the summer. And so I think that's where it is. I think it's just us. We're just ready to go. So.
Where have you improved as a quarterback, as an athlete, between spring practice and now?
Yeah, I think just going through last year and just focusing on things that I could clean up. So really just relationship with receivers as far as timing routes, timing throws, communicating with the O-line. So I think just the elevation of a quarterback's game, just naturally, you're going to grow as years go on. And so just spending a lot of time with Coach Lynch, figuring out, okay, what can we work on today, and having a plan and an intentionality every single day on getting better. So.
Well, what do you think about this offense suits your talents?
Oh my God, I think it's a quarterback-friendly offense, and that's what I tell people. It's a player-led team, just because you're the person out there controlling the offense. You're being guided out there, and at the end of the day, just go out there and play. So I think I have a great cast around me, great receivers, great up front, 7 different running backs who can run the ball. So it's a fun offense to be in, especially with so many weapons. So it make my job easier.
You've got 2 months now where Walter and Drew have been here, and 7 months with AJ. What do you think of the freshmen so far?
I'm excited. I'm excited for them. You talk about smart guys and guys who are almost really just college ready as soon as they walk in the door as far as knowledge of the game. So they're a great addition to our quarterback room. All 3 bring different personalities, funny as all get out. So I'm excited to see them grow, and they're giving insight the same way the older guys are giving them insight now. So I'm just glad to have them in our room.
Joe, have you put on some muscle?
Yeah, I feel like I got a little stronger. Good strength and conditioning this summer, this spring. So I feel like it's a testament to everyone in the program. We all got bigger, stronger, faster this summer.
You played a couple different spots here. How excited are you about just really settling in at linebacker and getting some All-SEC love and some things like that? Are you primed, do you think, for a big year?
Yeah, I'm excited. Just being able to have the same head coach with Coach Lee 2 years in a row is just a great feeling. Just to be able to have that carry over, that trust that I can really keep improving my game. And I know Coach Zinski coming in, he's just helping as well. He's just helping me everywhere I can, and that goes for the entire defense. I feel like the entire defense has grown. And as he turns the game, we all more comfortable in the system.
Yeah, different linebackers, coaches. Is there anything different in terms of expectations and responsibilities?
No, same expectations. As a linebacker group, we want to be the leaders of the defense and leaders of the team. So same expectations. We just got to keep growing to be the best players we can be.